It's a random Saturday in 1989. Your grandpa is wearing acid-wash jeans he genuinely thinks look good, he's got a mullet that could file taxes on its own, and he just hit $1 million in his retirement account. He walks into his living room, kicks off his loafers, lights a cigarette indoors because that was somehow legal, and tells his grandma, "Honey, we're set for life." And he was right. He was actually right. Now picture you, today, hitting that same $1 million number. You sit down, open a spreadsheet, and after about 4 minutes of math, you realize your $1 million buys you roughly a used Honda, 2 years of groceries, and the right to be mildly anxious every time the stock market sneezes. What happened? Where did the magic go? Why does hitting $1 million feel less like I made it and more like I made it to the starting line? Today we're tackling one of the most uncomfortable financial truths of this age, that the iconic, legendary, make-it-rain number of $1 million in retirement is not the golden ticket it used to be. Don't worry though, by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this number got stuck in our heads, why it's quietly sabotaging your retirement planning, and how to unstick your brain from it. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with a little history lesson, because understanding why $1 million used to be such a big deal helps you understand why it's not anymore. The phrase millionaire got popular back in the 1800s, like the 1800s, back when a loaf of bread cost 3 cents, and the height of medical care was a guy named Dr. Phineas applying leeches to your forehead. $1 million back then was so absurdly rich that you basically owned a small country and probably a pretty fancy mustache to go with it. Fast forward to the 1980s and 90s, and the millionaire status was still a really big deal. There was a TV show literally called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and the entire premise was that becoming one would solve every problem in your life. Regis Philbin would look into your soul and ask, "Is that your final answer?" And if you said yes, your descendants would never work again. But here's the thing about money. It doesn't sit still. It quietly loses value over time, like a gym membership you forgot you were paying for. That's inflation. And inflation has been doing pull-ups in the corner while we weren't looking. Let me hit you with some actual numbers, because I know you didn't click on this video for vibes. $1 million in 1989, adjusted for inflation, would be worth somewhere around $2.6 million today. The exact same purchasing power that your grandpa had with his $1 million is now $2.6 million. So when you hit $1 million today, congratulations, you have approximately 38 cents on the grandpa dollar. I know. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. And here's where it gets a little wild. Inflation isn't just a number on a government website. It's that feeling you get at the grocery store when you grab 3 items, 2 of which are store brand, and the total is somehow $47. It's that moment when you order a burger and a drink at a sit-down restaurant and the bill makes you reconsider whether you really needed the drink. It's eggs. Don't even get me started on eggs. The point is, the $1 million dream was set when the world was a much, much cheaper place, and that dream hasn't updated itself. We're still walking around with this number in our heads like it's some kind of finish line, when really, the finish line moved twice, and it's still moving. Now let's talk about the things eating your retirement that don't show up on the news. These are the silent thieves, the ninjas of your future net worth. Number 1, longevity. People are living longer, which is good. That's the goal. But it's also expensive. Your grandpa with his $1 million in 1989, he was planning for maybe 15, 20 years of retirement. If you retire today at 65, you might need your money to last 30, even 35 years. That's not retirement. That's a second career as a person who doesn't work. The more years your money has to stretch, the less each dollar gets to do. It's like if you ordered a pizza for 4 people and then 6 people showed up. Somebody is leaving hungry, and that somebody might be 88-year-old you. Number 2, healthcare costs growing faster than inflation. Regular inflation is one thing. Healthcare inflation is a whole different animal. Medical costs have historically grown faster than general inflation, sometimes by a wide margin. So that retirement number that looks good on paper, it assumes a normal inflation rate, but the part of your spending that grows the fastest in retirement, the medical part, is on its own special inflation roller coaster, and there is no exit row. Number 3, the disappearance of pensions. This one is huge, and nobody talks about it enough. Your grandpa, with his $1,000,000, he probably also had a pension, a guaranteed monthly check from his employer for the rest of his life. That was on top of Social Security. So his $1,000,000 was just the cherry on top of a much bigger sundae. Today, pensions are basically extinct in the private sector. They went the way of the dodo bird and the rotary phone. Most of us are running on the 401k system, which means we are responsible for figuring this all out. The risk got transferred from the company to you, and nobody held a press conference about it. Okay, here's a question I want you to actually sit with for a second. Why is it always $1,000,000? Why not 1.3 million? Why not 747,000? Why has this specific number, 1 followed by 6 zeros, got such a death grip on the American imagination? The answer is fascinating, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's called anchoring. It's a psychology term, and it basically means our brains get attached to the first big number we hear about a topic, and then every other number gets compared to that one forever. The $1,000,000 number got anchored into the culture decades ago, back when it actually meant something, and our brains never got the memo that the number expired. It's the same reason your dad still talks about how a movie ticket used to cost 50 cents. His anchor never updated. The price moved, the world moved, and somewhere in his head it's still 1972 and Steve McQueen is on the marquee. The $1,000,000 number is your dad's movie ticket. It feels real because it's familiar, not because it's accurate. And the wild part is, once a number is anchored in your brain, it actively messes with your financial decisions. Let me show you 3 ways this number is quietly sabotaging people right now. Sabotage 1, the celebration trap. People hit the $1,000,000 milestone and they celebrate. They take their foot off the gas. They tell themselves, I did it. I'm a millionaire. I can ease up on saving now. And then they spend the next 10 years cruising. Same contribution, same lifestyle creep, and wake up at 60 realizing they're still way short of where they actually need to be. The number gave them a false finish line. They stopped running with the race only half done. Sabotage 2, the despair trap. This is the opposite problem, and it's just as bad. People look at their account, see $300,000, see they're nowhere near $1,000,000, and they just give up. They go, I'll never make it. Why bother? So they stop contributing, or they pull money out, or they start chasing crazy returns to catch up. And the irony is, $300,000 invested properly for another 15 years can absolutely turn into real retirement money. But the anchored number made them feel poor when they weren't. Sabotage 3, the comparison trap. The $1,000,000 number creates a weird social benchmark. People start judging themselves against it. They look at their neighbor's new boat and assume the neighbor has $1,000,000. They look at their own balance and feel like they're behind. Meanwhile, the neighbor with the boat is also anchored to the $1,000,000 number, also feels behind, and also bought the boat to make himself feel better about it. Everybody on the block is faking it for the benefit of everybody else on the block. It's financial Stockholm syndrome. Now here's the part that's going to mess with you a little. The $1,000,000 number doesn't just affect how much people save, it affects when they retire. Studies have actually shown that people who hit big round numbers, $1,000,000, $500,000, even $100,000, are statistically more likely to make a major financial decision right around that moment. Quit their job, buy a house, retire early. Not because the math worked out, but because the number felt complete. That's how powerful anchoring is. It can make people change their entire lives based on how a number looks instead of what the number can actually do. All this based on myths. Now, I want to close with the most crucial part of the whole conversation, the specific lies that the $1,000,000 myth tells you. Because once you can name the lies, you can stop believing them. Lie number 1, $1,000,000 is a finish line. It's not, it's a checkpoint. Retirement isn't a moment in time, it's a 30-year obstacle course. And the obstacle course has weather. Sometimes it rains, sometimes there's a market crash, sometimes a hurricane hits your house, sometimes your kid moves back in with the grandkids and a labradoodle named Brutus. The idea that you cross one line and the game is over, that's the lie. The game keeps going. Your money has to keep working for decades after you stop. Lie number 2, millionaires are rich. This one's painful to hear, but here we go. In modern America, $1,000,000 in investments makes you comfortable. Comfortable. That's a wonderful place to be, please don't get me wrong, but it's not rich.
Rich is when work is optional. Your kid's college is fully funded, you have a vacation home, and a market crash doesn't change your lifestyle. That's a multi-million-dollar number now. The word millionaire used to mean rich, but the language hasn't caught up to the math. Saying you're a millionaire today is like saying you have a flip phone. Technically true, just no longer impressive. Line number 3. If I hit the number, I'm safe. Oh, this one's a doozy. There's no such thing as financially safe anymore. There's only prepared for different scenarios. $1 million sitting in a savings account is less safe than $500,000 invested properly because cash loses to inflation every single year. Safety isn't a number, it's a strategy. The number can't protect you. The plan around the number can. Lie number 4. Other people my age have $1 million. They don't. They really, really don't. The actual data is brutal. The median retirement savings for Americans approaching retirement age is vastly lower than $1 million. We're talking a fraction of it. The reason it feels like everyone is doing better than you is because everyone is performing like they're doing better than you. Instagram, Facebook, the new car in the driveway, the kitchen renovation. That's highlight reel. You're comparing your bank account to other people's lighting. Lie number 5. More money means more happiness. This one's going to sound weird coming from a finance channel, but stick with me. Research has shown over and over that beyond a certain income, enough to cover your needs and provide reasonable comfort, additional money has surprisingly small effects on day-to-day happiness. The hedonic treadmill is real. The guy with $5 million is generally not 5 times happier than the guy with $1 million. He's just got a fancier kitchen and worse problems. So if you're killing yourself trying to hit a number that you think will make you whole, pump the brakes. The number won't fix you. Only your plan and your peace will. So what do you do with all of this? How do you actually stop being held hostage by the $1 million idea? You replace the number with 3 different questions. Just 3. Question 1. What's my actual monthly cost of being alive? Not what I make, what I spend every single month, including the weird stuff, including the dog, including the streaming services. Question 2. What would happen if my portfolio dropped 30% next year? Not because I'm trying to scare myself, but because the answer tells me whether my plan is sturdy or flimsy. Question 3. What's the worst case version of my retirement, and can I survive it? If I live to 100, if healthcare doubles, if Social Security gets trimmed, am I still okay? If yes, my number is fine. If no, my number isn't fine, no matter how many zeros it has. Those 3 questions will protect you from the $1 million myth in a way that no magic number ever could. Because the truth is, the right number for you is whatever number lets you sleep at night, covers your real life, and gives your money a job to do for the next 30 years. The number isn't sacred, your plan is. So look, the $1 million retirement dream isn't dead, it just got demoted. It used to be the destination, now it's a stop along the way. Same number, completely different role. And honestly, the biggest danger isn't that the number is too small. The biggest danger is that we still believe in it like it's 1989. The number got old, the number got tired, the number needs to retire before you can. I hope this video helped reframe the way you think about your retirement number. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and drop me a comment with this. What's the number stuck in your head and where do you think it came from? I read every single one, and I promise I won't judge you for it. We're all anchored to something. Until next time, keep saving, keep investing, and remember, the goal isn't to hit a number. The goal is to build a life that doesn't depend on one. Catch you in the next one.